You might have heard this anecdote countless times. Growing up, I was really into Pokemon, but I was curious about Digimon. I have a similar story, but the difference being was that I was into Digimon as well. Of course, Pokemon was more my thing, but I did wake up on Saturday mornings to catch the latest episode of Tai and the rest of the Digidestined's adventure through the digital world. My memories are vague on the passing years, but the point being that I was a bit of a Digimon fan too. As a side note, I remember bugging my parents to take me to watch the Digimon movie in theaters, but instead they bought me the Pokemon movie on VHS. Thanks, Dad. A weird part is that in the present day, I pretty much know nothing about the series. The only Digimon I can remember off the top of my head are Agumon, Gabumon, and Vmon, with the latter pretty much showing where I stopped watching. Names aside, the only other history I can say I have with Digimon is that I played the games and enjoyed them. Especially Digimon World Dusk on the DS. I love this game. And Digimon Rumble Arena 2 on the GameCube. Oh man, the memories. So I do have a bit of a history with the games at least, and I do enjoy them. I feel like anecdotes are important for a series like this so you can get my perspective whenever I give my thoughts and opinions. When this was requested, I was a little surprised. Oh, Digimon, I wonder how that's been after all this time. Even though I stopped watching Digimon by the time Frontier aired, I still have some vague memories of it being on TV. My expectations were fairly plain. I don't need an overarching story. Something episodic is fine, just as long as it's fun. With expectations low, let's get into Digimon Frontier. Even if you know little about the series, we all know at least a theme, right? It's been the same since season 1, we all know it. Digimon, digital monsters, This sounds awesome! Oh right, it's the Japanese version. Man, how come Japan always has a better themes to TV shows? That opening guitar riff alone is amazing. How can the English version ever compete with... I love this opening. In fact, it's my favorite Digimon theme, Japanese ones included. Move aside, butterfly. English Frontier is where it's at. Speaking of Japanese, I actually watched through the sub version of Frontier. For one, it was easier to get online. But more importantly, I'm a Tokusatsu guy, so I'm used to sub media, and I was really curious to see how different the experience is when watching the original, which isn't much aside from some censorships. With that being brought up, I'll be saying the Japanese names, though only a few are changed at all. The show starts with our main character, Takuya, about to be hit by a truck. Well, dang Japan. Of course he doesn't actually get hit or anything, he just brushes off the experience and continues running. In a flashback, we see that his phone was directing him to a subway. Even as a 5th grader, I wouldn't trust a message like that, I would think it's spam mail. I'd also wonder why I had a phone in the first place, because I never got a phone until junior high. Though he only has a short time to make it, hence the running past the truck thing. At the subway, Takuya meets the rest of our crew, Junpei, Izumi, and Tomoki, or JP, Zoe, and Tommy in English, plus another boy named Koji who follows their adventure after a couple of episodes. When they reach their destination, they meet 2 Digimon who are being attacked. With the power of friendship, Takuya finds some armor and transforms into a Digimon himself. Wait, what? Yeah, there aren't exactly partnered Digimon aside from the 2 they make friends with. This time, our group are the Digimon. Major or minor change is inevitable for any TV show, so this is how things are switched up for the season, and I think it's weird to say the least, but more on that later. After the fight scene with Takuya, the group is told to find the legendary spirits. And that's pretty much the show. The following episodes have the rest of the team get their legendary spirits to transform. Then the episodes after that have them look for beast spirits, extra Digimon to transform into. Continue the episodic trend until about halfway, then we have the usual good guys versus evil villain group story. I had to bring this up eventually, and it might be too early to do so, but I've heard that Digimon Frontier isn't exactly well liked, and I can see why. There was an episode that focused on Tomoki, Takuya, and Koji playing around on a floating island ran by toy Agumons. It had Tomoki get kidnapped. Then by the end, everything is okay because he started playing with the Digimon. Problem solved. Sprinkle in a couple of fight scenes, and that's the episode. I've talked about episodic shows before, but I always bring up how they're difficult to explain because all it ever boils down to is me saying, I enjoyed it. To echo a certain YouTuber I watch, it's easier to talk about a bad show than a good one. With that pointed out, I can easily say that Digimon Frontier is in between? I can see that not a lot happens until halfway through the show, but I enjoyed the individual stories, the background of each character, the Digimon they come across, the landscapes of their travels. If anything, I think a couple of the cast members could have had more of the spotlight, which is a shame because this group probably has my favorite design out of all the Digimon teams we've had. Sure, the Digidestin are iconic, mostly from nostalgia, but the legendary warriors here stand out to me in a lineup of protagonists. It's pretty obvious that each character is going to have the typical heroic trait, but I enjoy the little things, like Junpei getting mad when Takuya saves Izumi because Junpei has a crush on her, or how Tomoki gets some character development in standing up to bullies. In a weird parallel to Super Sentai and Power Rangers, we get a sixth member to join them who was kept silent by Koji since they're brothers. And he sure is part of the team. Speaking of Sentai, I should bring up the evolutions a bit more. It still weirds me out that there aren't true partnered Digimon for this season. As a kid, it's the one thing you'd want in a monster show, aside from Megazord Battles. The partnership between Ash and Pikachu is what made Pokemon enjoyable for me. Same with the first season of Digimon. I'd like to imagine myself in the protagonist's shoes as they go through the adventure with their friends. If there weren't any partner Digimon, then I figured that with a smaller cast, we'd get more development on the kids themselves. Kinda? At least not more than we could have if they added extra Digimon to the team. The development we do get come through the progression of a 50-episode show. That's more than enough time to add characterization. Though it still feels like it's being held back, and I can kinda see why. For the younger viewers out there, they can put themselves in the shoes of anybody on the team, which means character development might not be as major as other shows. Instead, we get a lot of world building, and I love that. It's one of my 3 biggest points in a show aside from the story and characters. Frontier doesn't have much story and the characters are just okay. But the world is pretty great to me. There are sprinkles of the backstory with humans and Digimon in a war. Then a big bad Digimon was defeated by 10 legendary warriors, and 3 more angel-like Digimon were tasked to keep the peace. As the team walks through the digital world, we see remnants of places that humans could have been in. There was one episode where they're giving cabbages that taste like pizza, and I figured that it's food meant for Digimon. Then in another episode, they're fed ramen, human food. I might be overthinking it since it's not like they explain the digital world's ecosystem, but the ramen could have been left behind since they do say that it tastes bad to them, so it's possible that it's gotten stale after all this time. The villains they come across are your typical, grr, we're bad, although their designs are kinda cool. I like Grottomon and his gang. Their beast spirit forms look like cool bosses. I actually don't mind them fighting the legendary warriors in these good fight scenes. Plus the landscapes look pretty, despite having generic forest and generic desert locations. I say landscapes, but they're more like close-ups. It actually reminds me of a video game how the team notices a tall mountain, then they reach that place an episode or 2 later. Specifically, there's an episode where they save a Digimon that takes them to a far-off island, and then the next episode has them relax on that beach. It's not just place to place with little transition like something in Pokemon. It feels like an actual, adventure. I wish I could get deeper into the lore. Oh wait, I do have Paladin, the one who requested this video in the first place. Take it away.
Long ago, there was a war between the beast and human Digimon, but peace was brought by Lucimon. But over time, he grew power-hungry and wanted nothing more than complete and utter order. The 10 legendary warriors united against Lucimon and trapped him in a dark area of the digital world. Each warrior represents a different element and passed on their abilities to different Digimon types. The warrior eventually took each of the warriors' lives, but they managed to pass on their powers in the form of human and beast spirits, which they left to the celestial Digimon. Paladin here, I just want to thank Marco for making a retrospective on Digimon Frontier, my first Digimon series. Until next time, this has been a Digimon Lore Dive.
Thank you, Paladin. This just makes me enjoy the world building even more.
Don't miss 1 second of Digimon! Tonight at 10:30, 9:30 Central on JetX!
I think by now you get my perspective. I'm enjoying everything surrounding the story and characters, quite literally. I did say I like the designs of the characters, but it's just the ones that are in the group. Their evolved forms don't really grab me, except for Tomoki as Chalkmon. He's adorable. Agnimon looks okay with your typical red leader who's on fire. Blitzmon looks okay. Ferrymon looks okay. Even the transformation sequence is okay, though I can tell that they're extended for episode padding. Weirdly enough, I think a flash of light like early Kamen Rider works better than a sequence that's just okay. I'm not even sure what it is. Maybe the silhouettes of the characters and the armor attaching to them seem out of place. Oh duh, cause that's not a normal thing for Digimon. At least, that's what I was told by a couple of Digimon fans. Oh yeah, I did talk to a few of my friends who are fans of the series. I mean, they enjoy Digimon way more than Pokemon is how big of fans they are, and they told me about the same as I found online. Digimon Frontier isn't anywhere near the best season, or that good, but even the worst of Digimon is still fun. Although at least one of my friends said that Frontier is his favorite, so take that as you will. Remember that this video is from the perspective of someone that dropped off Digimon by its second season, and knows pretty much nothing past that. With that in mind, I don't think Digimon Frontier is bad, just not for me. I'm neutral towards it. If I was a kid and got back into Frontier when it aired, I think I would have absolutely loved it, especially since I was also a Power Rangers kid and would have died over seeing a transformation sequence. Whew. I think we should digi-evolve into my final thoughts here. As I always say, it's difficult to talk about episodic shows because I don't know what to say other than bringing up a couple of episodes and then going over the characters. As for Digimon Frontier, it's okay. I can see why people wouldn't like it, since it's kind of a slog to get through, but the adventure through the digital world made up a lot of it for me. If you didn't enjoy the first few episodes, then you probably don't want to wait 30 more episodes for it to get better. Overall, I do appreciate the show, and I did enjoy it enough. Thank you, Paladin, for requesting this. I feel like I should put myself out there more since we are nearing 50,000 subscribers, so I guess I'll start chilling at the end of these. If you want to support the channel as a whole, then we do have a Patreon now, although I'm not announcing that everywhere, I'm just trying to keep it, simple. But if you want to support me directly, then I do have a Ko-Fi, or a Coffee, however it's pronounced. Anyone who supports with $25 or more gets a request for a video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the new-ish format. I've been trying to do more live action stuff and I feel like this was an easy experimental way to do it and I've been enjoying it. And I do want to add a question to the video. It's very easy, it's very simple, and since we're keeping it simple, I'll just ask the easiest question I can. What's your favorite Digimon? Yeah, I know, it's very generic, but hey, we're experimenting. My favorite's always gonna be Vmon. I mean, look at him, he's cute. And just in case I do continue with Digimon, no promises, I'll use my usual send-off. With all that being said, I'll see you guys next time since we've only just begun with Digimon Data Squad.
妊婦さんみたい。触るな。バイキンがついたらどうするんだい。優しいいい子に育たないでしょ。